there is a reason that you particularly are not come up with the idea yourself that, well, we need decision making process.
Yes.
It's not like you don't know it intellectually. Somehow you have wanted to kind of postpone it or not to see it. Yes.
This what you now shared explains what makes you a good salesman.
This I can take poison on. Like.
So the question now is there freedom or not in such situation? Welcome to Inner Power Particles. I'm Farhad, the host of the podcast. We talk with entrepreneurs and leaders about how they have solved the challenges in their life or business and how it has transformed into new inner strength in them. And with this, we want to help that you also can look at your life or business situations and see how you can solve the challenges in them, and through that transform them also into new inner strengths, inner power particles in you. Enjoy the show. Hi, Hristo.
Ciao.
Thanks for coming to the show. I want to jump right to one topic which for many people is unpleasant. Let's talk about fear. I remember one situation when you almost jumped off one ship because of fear, but also in the before the interview you shared that fear is one of the things that you would like to talk about. So what is this thing with you and fear?
I think I have been quite fearful most of my life, but in the same time being very good in escaping. And therefore for a very long time I did not kind of acknowledge or I thought about myself as being very brave or courageous or not at all fearful, because I could trick myself that well, I can go like that or like that around the obstacles, but in reality I well, I can bring a lot of examples where I was just too afraid to do something and then I was trying to hide from it and then it bite from my ass. So and when I realized about it and it all kind of collapsed, that well, actually fear is determining a lot of things what I can do and cannot do and how I make my decisions, then it became kind of interesting for me, or I could see it, like how much it has control over my life. And from that on I have made one of my kind of missions to notice the fear and then even through unpleasantness kind of face it, because afterwards a bit of sense of freedom comes. So it grows my sense of freedom in living when I face the fears.
I think fear has two forms. One is when I know that I'm afraid. Second, I think, and which is mostly impacting us, is that one where I don't know that I'm afraid or I wouldn't admit it. So, and I think everyone who's listening would be more curious about this second part. Okay, maybe also about the first one, how do you overcome it? But at least I'm very curious, how do you realize that you are being led by fear?
I will use a romantic relationship example because this is, I think, very relevant for many people, and yes, I will use that one. And it is not about the relationship I'm currently in with my current partner, but it goes about all the previous ones, basically, because the pattern was all the same. I always screwed the things up, and how I screwed up, I cheated all my girlfriends, yes. And in the same time I was absolutely sure that I want to be in the relationship. So it was very confusing for myself, like why would I behave such a way?
What does fear have to do with it?
Yeah, so main thing was fear of commitment and fear of unknown, that as romantic relationship is kind of evolving, I think a relationship always needs change, meaning or some growth, or relationship cannot just stand still. It will go and start to diminish then. And as the relationships were growing, then all the known steps soon were over, meaning how the honeymoon phase and then maybe moving in together, getting used how to live together, like all these, like I had already done, or when I did the first time, then I already got like accustomed, or like it was usual, normal, yes. So but what are the next things? The next things are getting to know each other more deeply, showing the sides that I would not want others to see. For example, being afraid of seeing incapable. Yes, like all those things were so scary for me that like on one hand I would have wanted to keep for my partner this some kind of perfect picture of me. In the same time understand that it's like impossible, like we can the relationship cannot grow, and in the same time I can keep the keep the picture up, yes. And this I did not realize as a fear, because I couldn't kind of think about it like that as I can do it right now. And then the kind of unconscious way was to somehow kind of escape from it, yes, from the relationship, or start to look for a new ones where I could do all the first steps which I already know how to do and which are completely safe. I don't need to show any those parts of myself which I don't want to.
Okay, this is quite deep reflection, very peculiar actually. Thanks for sharing. I still want to jump a bit from the personal relationships to the professional relationships. I know that you've been in quite many careers in your life, and with careers meaning not even like switching from one role in a company to another role in a company, but very diverse switchings in even identities of who you are and what you do. Can you share a brief history of who is Hristo Neiland, and who have you been and what have you done?
My first part-time jobs was a plumber, sorting garbage, sorting old metal in construction fields. Then I have been youth worker, building up youth center. After that, teacher at high school, also youth counselor, basketball coach, disc golf coach, consultant, sales representative, then a CEO of a startup and a founder, then more sales, product manager, another company co-founder, therapist, business mentor, self-development mentor, and trainer, yes.
Quite a journey.
Yes.
How old are you?
If I just count now, right now I'm 31.
It's quite a journey. From all these hats, maybe what are 2 or 3 that you consider that were the most pivotal for you?
First was, well, I think first jobs always have quite a long impact. So when I was building pipes and doing all kind of plumber stuff, then this had quite big impact. Then teacher, this is something that I could recommend to every single person who wants to very fast learn a lot about himself. That being a teacher gives this opportunity really. And then becoming an entrepreneur. It's not like one role, but overall like thinking as, okay, maybe if I'm not employee, there are other ways, because someone who I'm working for, he's not employee. Like what's that thing? Like thinking entrepreneurial way, I think was the third kind of most impactful.
And I'm trying now to connect, how does this, what you shared, connect with the fear topic? So how has these all the roles that you've been through, how has your life been impacted by this fear topic?
So if I take the construction worker / plumber, then there my role was to be like help worker. Yes, someone who is helping the actual guys. Yes, as I did not have any education or skills in this. But these were the during that period was the first time when I got some like personal assignments. One client needs this thing, you need to go and do that. And these moments for me were super fearful. But I was more afraid that I will not have a job at all. Then I had like two fears. And not having job at all was bigger fear, so I was forced to go into those situations which I would actually want to avoid. Like in any way I would like to avoid, but well, for my boss I was too afraid to say like, well, I don't go. Yes, I said, yes, I will go. And so this had, I think, first real experiences what it means to kind of overcome the fear. Yes, like I went, I did, I made mistakes, I fixed the mistakes, and all was good in the end. So the first this good feeling, what I can feel after I have faced the fear, came from there. From being a teacher, there were a lot of learnings, but main connection with fear for me was that I would say that there I did not face the fear fully, and this ended up with, I would say, mild burnout. I trying to be cautious with the word burnout because it has so many faces, or for many people it means so many different things.
But now how fear is connected with burnout in your experience?
Well, in the end, I became so afraid to be in front of class because somehow I started to feel that I don't manage anymore, that I took on so many courses that I could not kind of educate myself enough to give those courses well. So then it was fear that I'm a bad teacher. And from this, as a ripple effect, I started to lose confidence even on those classes where I was well educated, or I have given for a couple years already.
Yeah.
And how it kind of played out physically was that on some lessons I had hard time speaking. Like I don't know if you have ever experienced this feeling where you just almost like if I start to speak, I start to cry. Like these kind of things started to happen. What was the fear about was to admit that, well, I have taken on more than I can actually do. Kind of show that I'm not as capable as I advertised myself to be.
Were you less capable, or did you think you were less capable? Meaning, were there some, I don't know, NPS of course maybe doesn't exist in schools, but some objective measurements?
Well, if I'm right now looking back, I would say that I was less incapable than I was advertised myself. Like I would have just needed more time to set up some courses.
Yeah.
And right now what I would have just done, like, well, this I can not do right now. Even if I would have first said yes I can,
Yeah.
I would go in, see like it does not fit. Like I just run out of time and energy, it's too much. We need to find some other solution. Yes, and then I would just go to a headmaster, say like, well, this thing here currently I need help. Yes, but this was for me like impossible task.
To admit that you are incapable in a way.
Yes, plus that I have somehow already said that I will do it.
Yeah.
And now I will need to admit that I cannot. Then like, so for me that was somehow very, very, very scary.
So, and what happened then?
Well, first my physical health also went down, meaning I was very tired, I got fever, all kind of things. Then I went to doctors, started to see psychologist, took vacation for some time. After I came back from vacation, I delivered all the courses. Because I took the pause, I kind of re-energized myself, and I was able to kind of put the courses together, and I delivered them till the end of the year, which was, I think, quite interesting because I took in the middle of the school year almost 1 month of vacation. So when I came back, I had full days of lessons every day. almost like immense load, but then I was able to deliver it well until the school year, and then I left the schoolwork.
So you say after the vacation you could deliver it well, meaning you thought that you're doing well and others also perceived it so.
Yeah, on a decent level, yes.
So what was the change? You rested and you prepared better?
Rested, prepared better, plus kind of lowered my own expectations, or the amount of clarity was more sharp.
So do I get it correct that basically if we make it to very practical level, then just preparing a bit better helped you?
But this is the thing with fear, that fear and not preparing can be very much connected for many people.
Yes, but the obvious question would be, okay, if you feel this, why don't you take Saturday, prepare and come on Monday prepared?
Well, for this question I don't have the answer. First, I think in the moment when at least I realize that things are there, I'm already too much in a hole, that I'm too tired.
Can it be so that what you at that time think is that I'm bad or incapable, whatever it is, I'm absolutely incapable, and I will forever be like this?
It can be, yes. It's such a state where you feel very incapable. Yes, I'm tired. It's no way I can do it. I don't want to even start with that. Like, it's quite helpless kind of spiral of self-doubt.
But then when you look back, it turns out it was like a bit of a mirage, because what was necessary just to prepare a bit better, and then it works.
Yeah, meaning, but it needs this kind of pause, like or whatever works for who, to get out of this
hole.
Yes, for me it feels like in a fog.
Yeah.
Like if you are with a car driving and suddenly it's full foggy.
I can relate what you're talking about. When I've been in this place, for example, I've spent few days lying on the floor on my office. Just lying on the floor.
Yes.
Waiting when something will change.
Yes. But this, I think, is very helpful approach, knowing that it will pass.
Yeah.
Yes. But at that time my big fear was that it will be like that forever, or meaning like maybe like this is how it is. Yes.
So this could be also called that it's a mood swing or mood change. There's mood swings, and now it's a different wind. Yesterday it was cold, today it's warm, or yesterday it was warm, today it's cold, and you can do nothing about it. And if you don't know these things well, then how do you deal with them? What's your in general experience with mood swings, and is it just fear that is pushing you in, or can you share a bit about this perspective?
Well, this is something which is not fully clear even for myself currently. What is clear is that I do experience mood swings, and they affect my behavior. And in my opinion, maybe a bit more than I observe from most people around me.
And to make it easier to go in this topic, I want to share why I asked this, because being a mentor, I know that people do experience mood swings, and people try to not show it out, especially at work. It is hard both for the leaders and for team members, because you are expected not to be weak, you are expected always to be performing. So, and then you can try to, maybe if it's absolutely bad, then you call up and say, I'm sick. You are not sick actually, but what else will you say? So yeah, let's delve into it. What is it? How do you experience it? Let's just maybe go into a couple examples of experiences you've had.
So first, what I want to mention, that it is very much connected with fear, and or both things can be resolved. Like it sounds obvious, but through admitting, because what I started to tell before also, that if someone is in a fear of presentation that is coming up, for me it was one of the keynotes, and if I don't admit that I'm in fear, then I also don't start preparing for it.
Preparing for
doing it well, for the keynote, because well, the moment I start to prepare, I experience the fear.
Yeah.
But if I don't want to admit that the thing that is coming is scary, then I just postpone preparing.
Okay.
Yes, until it is very last moment.
Yeah.
So I had at university a lot of those things where it was something that I need to kind of present openly. I postponed it like hell.
So meaning for you, it's a thing to come and present something openly. This is scary, or used to be scary.
Meaning right now I know that it's scary, but it's okay. Meaning just to do it together with fear is not a problem.
Okay, so there will come an event, and with presentations usually it has a fixed deadline when it will come, and then you are kind of pushing forward the preparation, and what happens then?
With this actually the fear grows, and then you even more want to postpone it.
But do you feel fear, or you don't feel it, just boiling up something?
Well, you kind of feel, but you don't admit. Meaning it already, like it comes out like, okay, I don't want to think about it. Someone will ask about, okay, you have this thing coming up, how does it going? It's like, no, don't ask, or like, I don't want to talk about it. It's just avoiding it as much as possible.
But I've experienced if I'm avoiding something, then instead I become grumpy. How about you?
I become either kind of, if it is extreme, then I become like sad, or I pick sadness because then it's like, well, what can I do? I'm so sad.
Okay.
No, it's like mechanics, yes.
Yeah.
If you become grumpy, then I can kind of push away or like, yes. So it's like defense mechanics.
But sad, what is that? Is it like more this depressed, helpless, or?
I think this is very, very personal. What who has kind of experienced. I think for me it's like the not life supportive pattern is like when I'm sad, then others need to support me.
So do I understand correctly then that being afraid of something that will or will not happen, and then not dealing with it on the practical plane triggers a mood swing for you?
Absolutely, yes. And then if it is not kind of addressed, it can go wherever. It can go up until burnout.
Yeah.
Because this, I think, is one of the, maybe it just changed, but at least there has been time when people, when they were talking about burnout, they were mostly talking about hours put into work or like not resting or such things.
Yeah.
Yes, but I can quite firmly say, confidently say that the hours is some ripple effect already, meaning burnout does not come from doing so too much work, or it coming from not tackling the problems, and then the problems pile up, and this is where the burnout comes. It's not just not addressing the actual problems that are pressing the person inside.
Burnout is a very unpleasant place to be in, and it also can take quite a lot of time to go through it and then to recover it. But also mood swings can take quite a lot of productive time and space away and impact also relationships around you. What's the inner power that you have gained? What can you share about dealing with fear, dealing with mood swings?
I don't know how to avoid mood swings, and I think it is impossible to avoid them. Like try to operate such a way that it will never happen.
Yeah.
I think mood swings will happen, and the only question is like how long will they impact a person. For me is to first recognize, well, I can even wake up in the morning and feel like, okay, feel very down, and my thoughts are very somehow foreign for me. They're not like usual thoughts. They are somehow more negative. I don't have belief in things going well. So there has happened something which I did not notice, which have now grown into this mood swing. Yes.
Yeah.
And now what I tried before and did not work for me was to very strongly go against it. kinda. No, it is not like that. I don't think negative thoughts, or even if I do, I will just work more.
Get your stuff together and
Yes.
be productive.
Yes. Even if this email that I usually would send with 20 minutes will take right now 2 hours for me, I will do it because, well, at least this is sent them.
Yeah.
Yes, and
So this is not working for you.
For me, not working. Yes.
Yeah.
For me, one is to clear out my calendar for a day or two.
Sometime in the future or now?
Like right now.
No.
Like I cancel today's meetings, like reschedule them, and maybe yes.
Okay.
Just say that today we cannot meet. We need to reschedule.
Life happened.
Yes, and just find new time.
Mm-hmm.
And usually I do it for 2 days.
Okay.
Yes. Also, I of course tell my partner I feel quite down, so I don't want much, how to say, input or like tasks. Like I don't want then that someone ask me like, can I do dinner?
Okay.
Like
okay.
this, like cleaning up.
Yes.
Everything that I can.
Okay.
For 2 days. Yes. And then it depends. Either I just sometimes sleep for 2 days, almost do nothing, just, or whatever I feel like. Go outside, like clean day, do whatever you want. If you want to sleep, sleep. If you want to go to swim, go swim.
Mm-hmm.
And in most cases this works. Like it takes 2 days. It might sound like a lot, but in my opinion it is very small prices to pay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and usually during those 2 days I either realize something which I was kind of not paying attention to, like I understand what led me to there, or I will just rest out and have like normal being afterwards.
Yeah. So now I think what most of people would think probably is that this is very kind of not productive and appropriate way to approach it, because like 2 days and busy and then you cancel things, people are waiting on you, blah blah blah. But I think that this is a productive way, rather than going to the office and spreading black waves around you or gray waves around you and putting everyone in this beast. You just take time to reflect and maybe get also some good insights, and then you give positive ripple effects in the workplace instead of these negative ones.
Yeah, the second part is there, that either to talk with someone and just in like I have done, like, okay, there's a friend or a partner who said, could you just listen? I need someone to talk with because I don't know how to talk alone.
Yeah.
And if you have questions, ask questions, but don't give me anything else. Like, can you help me with this?
Yes.
So just talk or journal.
So, and this helps you also to come back sooner instead of dragging it into weeks or even months. It takes a few days. I want to share one perspective that I have on this, is that what we call here the mood swing is also a counter effect to being too much one-sided into something. Let's say, if I share about me, if I'm too much into execution work, and then at one moment I have exhausted my inner drive, somehow almost as if forgotten the purpose, why I'm doing things, so much caught up in what I'm doing, yes, then I get the mood swing. And last time I had it, I used those approximately 3 days to revisit who I am, what am I, why I'm doing what I'm doing, what I want to accomplish, what are my values, what are my strengths, what are my sources that are impacting me. And when I finished this, then the next morning I wake up, it's sunny again. And then I thought, but it's so good, I got much deeper connection with my inner self.
And I think that when shared, like I'm doing it for myself alone, many people say, well, it's weird or impossible, I cannot take the 2 days. And then when they go to some retreat or they go to therapist or psychologist.
Or vacation,
Yes.
spend the week
Yes.
at pool.
Yes. Then it almost like makes sense. Yes, like, okay, if I go to therapist, then I will talk about the deep stuff. Or
Yes.
when I go to retreat, I will take the 3 days for myself. Yes.
Yes.
But meaning this is the step forward from there, that all those things are good. Yes, you can use all those what I mentioned, but a lot of things you can also do just for yourself. Like just taking this time for yourself without anyone.
Yes, and I think this ability to recognize that it is time to take this time, and the ability to take this time to reschedule the meetings and to cancel things is inner power that you have gained, because it is, I assume it's hard for many people to do it this way. Of
Yeah.
course, there are professions where you can objectively, it's close to impossible to do it. I don't know, you're some politics or you're a doctor, but in average business life, although people say that no, I can't, actually, yes, you can. That's the reality.
Yes, it's more like I'm not used to.
Yeah, it's also this, if I would simplify this matrix of thoughts that we live in, what we think, how things should be. And then it turns out that they don't have to be exactly this way.
Yes, plus there are not as much effects, meaning we as humans live a lot of in assumptions world. This is how it is.
Yes.
Like all the time, even facial expressions. Someone is doing like that.
Mm-hmm.
The main face assumption is that he's angry. And I like scientific researches. I like spirituality. I like everything that tries to understand human nature. And just last week I was reading one scientific paper about facial expressions connected with emotion. And for example, such an expression is only around 35 to 40% about anger.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, 20 to 25% time it's about concentration, focusing.
Yeah.
Yes. But if I assume and take my assumption as like a fact that if someone is like that, he is angry, well, then I already make very false thoughts. Yes. I will say something to someone, he will nod, then turn to computer, make like that, and I'm like, okay, I made him angry.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I should not do that. Or whatever wrong kind of ripple effects come from just assuming. So instead of assuming, it's good to either try out or ask.
Yeah.
Yes, like be curious. Like, okay, I have assumption. Let's make it a hypothesis. Like, is it so or is it not? So I think my what is the inner power that I have got from many of those things is assuming much less. Also from work with people, I'm minimizing my assumptions.
Yeah.
Instead, I'm putting up some thoughts that maybe it is so, but I understand that it's just maybe. There are like 100 other things that it can be that I have interpreted that way, and therefore the understanding of humans and myself grows all the time. If I keep it fixated that this means angry, well, there is nothing to learn about this. Then for me this means angry, and I'm operating in this assumption world. So I think curiosity is one of the kind of inner powers that I have managed to get out from the struggles.
But I know that you've been studying quite a lot of different subjects that are all aimed at supporting the psyche of a person better and also helping people. Can you tell a bit about this? So why are you doing it? What is it about? And somehow I now got this weird question, and how it's connected with your basketball career in your teenage years and childhood. Maybe it's not, but this question popped up somehow to me.
No, my I would say lack of basketball career gave the final spark, I would say, for me to become very interested on how humans operate.
And what do you mean with lack of basketball career? Can you tell a bit the story?
Well, I had this imagined career that I will have, which will lead me to become a professional basketball player.
Yeah.
Then I had this self-image of how good I am, which I think was like, if I felt like my skills are somewhere here, and I really thought that this is how good I am, I think I was somewhere here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so there was quite big difference between how I perceived myself as a player and how I actually was. And
Yeah.
then there was what I deep down thought about myself is third layer. Yes, so it's quite complex, but well, it ended up me putting high hopes on basketball career, which of course never materialized as a professional career. And as it also included some injury, then the injury just pushed me to be alone for a month, or quite alone, meaning I went to school, but after school I was just alone. Yes.
But I remember you sharing in our prior conversations that back then you very much wanted this basketball career, that this is kind of your dream at that time, yeah? So you had a dream to be somewhere on a high level in basketball, and then the injury, or...
Well, yes, the injury came, but like it's two different pictures I have about the situation. How I was thinking back then, how I remember that I was seeing the situation, yes, and how I look it right now. Yes. So if I looking it right now, if the injury would not be there, I still would not have been a professional basketball player.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah, that's the difference. Yes. In that moment, I felt like, okay, that was now the thing.
Yeah.
It was just kind of the last exclamation point. You will not be.
So and how did it impact you?
So of course I was very devastated. And now if you put being devastated, the kind of self-image collapsing, being alone.
And I want to just highlight here that this is important what you just mentioned about self-image collapsing, because just as a side note, if a company is not doing well and the CEO melts down internally, then this is the self-image of a successful unicorn founder melting down. Okay,
Yes.
but
Yes,
sorry
yes.
for
No,
this,
but these collapsing moments are very powerful moments. It's just what will
they're
come out
freeing
of it.
also.
Yes. That but when then I was, I think, 18, I didn't felt anything freeing about it. Yes.
Yeah, I can imagine
It was like, okay, all is over.
Life is going
yes,
over.
there will be nothing anymore. But
Work in a grocery store and lots of cheap booze, yeah?
Yeah, most probably, or well, I still need to go to the university to make my parents happy. Well, what I study there, who cares? Like something predicting a lot of future, how it will be now.
Bad future.
Yes, like not having any meaning, or like just to execute out. Like seeing, okay, now there are 5 years that I need to execute out, I don't care about. So, but I like to read. This is something I liked from very early. Like when I learned to read, I started to read books, and somehow that was there. Like I enjoyed it, and well, then I started to read some whatever self-help book I could find. Like I did not have any direction or guidance or what to read. I was just, well, okay, this is popular currently. I will read this. I started to read about different
biographies, yeah?
Biographies, yes, about different people, about their lives, yes.
Yeah.
So this is where the curiosity started to grow about, okay, how humans operate, what they do, what they think, what are the emotions, like what I'm going through right now. Just taking in all kind of information. And I never thought about as something I will use more than just for myself. It was just, I want to know. That was
You had natural this
yes,
interest.
until I started to work at this youth center or establish it. And I started to, from outside, from other youth workers and things, get kind of comments like, okay, how did you communicate with this guy? He has been around for 2 years, we cannot get to him, like, but you somehow, from a side it looked like you had good conversation. And I was like, it's a nice guy.
But do you think it's because you knew, or this is just who you are?
Well, I think it all in the end becomes who you are, yes. But for me it was just part of my work or logic, or like, well, he has problems, he has these challenges. From this, of course, he behaves maybe sometimes aggressively toward me, but it's not about me. Somehow I had this ability of a bit more detachment, I think, than I would notice about my colleagues. Then when I went to school, I also started to be their youth counselor for kids who had challenging home situations, all kind of different ones. Because for me, it felt like part of a teacher job, even like, well, what is the education when, I don't know, a girl is constantly in fear when going home? Like, how can she develop?
But was it some official assignment to you, or you just felt that this is something you want to do?
So it turned into official assignment after it emerged. First it wasn't. I just felt like this is part of the job teachers should do at school. As I did not have official teachers training, then I also did not know what are the job of the teachers. Yes. So I could rely only on my own picture, or like, okay, I think this is a good teacher. Yes, and I just wanted to do it, and then it naturally emerged. And then one moment we sat down with headmaster and said, well, it's already going on. we can also kind of formalize it somehow.
So, but you didn't have any formal psychologist or psychotherapeutical education, right?
No, yes. I had some kind of trainings about, for example, motivational interviewing. It's like how to use questions in non-threatening way, so that kids could express themselves. But I think that was about it, if I'm now thinking about it.
Okay.
Yes.
I feel that this what you were doing and why it worked comes still from two parts. One is what you know, but the other is who you are. And this part, which who we are, of course it changes, but it changes usually in decades, not in months or even in few years.
Right now I'm thinking about me allowed it to happen was then one thing. In these situations when I supported kids, for example, I felt zero fear. Like no doubt, no fear. Like it was very logical, very clear, meaning I was very confident. Cautious, not to kind of understanding that I don't know a lot of things. Yes, so I need to be cautious not to kind of overstep something, or in some cases I still went to official psychologist with kids, but they were refusing to go for me for a long time, and now they were okay. I'm okay to try it.
You warmed them up.
Yes, that they were open to try it. So that there was not this fear, and another was that I didn't take it personally. What was happening, or what they were thinking, or somehow, like if they said that I think you're stupid, I never thought that I'm stupid, or that they actually think that I'm stupid.
But this is now interesting, because you to go in class and to give a course which is actually not just your content, but it's some general content, you feel fear. But now when you have one-on-one and it's just your content, so to say, then you have like no fear. So how come?
Well, if it is my content, then I cannot, no one can point out that I made a mistake.
Okay.
And that's it.
So it's about judging,
Yes,
being judged.
yes,
That someone says, here's a proof why you are not capable.
yes,
And in this,
yes, there is like no proof.
meaning if the person says, I don't like what you are doing, it's...
That's okay.
That's
Yes,
okay.
Yes, that's for me okay.
Uh-huh.
So there is some exact knack about it, what makes it fearful for me, and then what's not.
That's super interesting, because maybe I'm just jumping topic to topic, but this what you now shared explains what makes you a good salesman, for example, because then you can go and talk with the person and you don't need to, unless you have to retell some official information.
Yes. If you would give me like a script that I need to deliver all the time, it takes a lot of time until I'm not fearful anymore. Yes.
Okay. But okay, let's jump back now. You were working with kids, and today you are one of most sought for mentors at Cocoon. And I also know that you mentor some people in sports, professional sportists. How did this happen? And how, I will just nudge a bit this question, because sometimes when I talk with new clients, then they say, okay, I want someone who has led the unicorn, exited the unicorn, and so on and whatnot. But eventually, you and many of really great mentors, they haven't worked on building unicorns, but they're great mentors and well sought for, and with very good references from the client. So what, maybe you can shed some light on this. So how this jump from kids to entrepreneurs happened? And what makes you a good mentor for them?
Well, this you have to ask from them, and you have asked this. But how it happened? So I had the desire. This I remember clearly that before I became mentor, I had this one startup that I did for a year. Yes, only 1 year. And after that, I had the desire to work with people more. In the same time, I did not want to have like official psychology degree. Somehow it did not feel like I want to go through this all. Well, I had the opportunity to become sales/marketing person for Cocoon. And I got the exposure for the mentors who were there.
Yeah.
Yes. And then there was this first event where I met the mentors who were there already, and I was very inspired by their beings and how they are, and how they work with people. And in the same time, I felt like, well, I think I could do it. Like it was not like a logical, I can do it because of XYZ, but I felt like I know that I want to do it, but now first time there was like a bit of this belief that I can also actually do it. Like I can be beneficial for other entrepreneurs. Yes. And what I'm super grateful is that at that time Cocoon was a solo founder then, Rein, also believed in me and started to give me some opportunities to be either his co-mentor or co-facilitate some small groups or things. And with this kind of growing the self-belief, kind of getting the actual experiences that I was there, I did something and it worked.
Did it grow the self-belief or the skill, or both?
Both definitely. Yeah. Meaning, but skill I already tried to grow wherever I could. Meaning, some friend came to ask advice. I was like, yes, like I can try something out. Yes, something I have learned. I can I used every single experience that I could.
Yes,
to train.
But now this question. You said to give advice, yes? So let's say I have because I know you worked in these groups also. I have a company, we have 200 employees, so now, I don't know, I need advice on how to lead this group of people and now scale to 250. Um, and you haven't led 200 people
I
team. So
haven't,
how
yes.
can you give me advice? So this is a trick question, but I'm really interested. What's the answer to this question?
Well, by my experience, the advice, well, most times there is no need for advice. The question is give me advice, but usually the first challenge is there is just lack of clarity. Meaning this person who has led the company there has a lot of experience about this company.
Yeah.
He is the best person to give advice for him about the situation. The best, because about this particular company situation, nobody else has better feeling. Like, and this I'm always absolutely assured of, and this I'm always saying to every CEO I'm talking, that you are currently the best person in whole world to be this company CEO, because you are the only one who is there.
But what does he need you for?
Yeah. So what he needs from me is to understand what he is not understanding, what is the missing piece of clarity. Like, it would be better if he would take some maybe actual example. Everything in the business feels like moving slow, not fast enough. Yes. And well, I don't know why. Yes. Like, from here, if it's first time we meet, I cannot have a clue why particularly in this business things move slowly.
Yeah.
Yes. But while we are talking, for example, I pick up this guy using a lot of word maybe.
Okay.
Wherever he is speaking, like, okay, maybe this will happen, maybe that. Like, it's almost like parasite, yes. Then I ask, okay, how your co-founder talks. Like, when you have meetings and you discuss things, like, have you noticed any maybes or like, yeah, like that. Well, then I ask, okay, how is the decision-making process? How do you make decisions? Because if in your usual speech you use maybe, it means that most probably you don't want to make decisions. Well, it can go like that, like that.
Let's leave all options open.
Yes. So I'm not making decisions, so I don't know actually where I will start put my effort in to make this option happen, yes. So we talk and we find out that actually there is currently not very functioning decision-making system. That decisions have often left to maybe, and well, it takes time until they see that, well, the maybe did not work, and well, then they discuss again, and it's slow, yes.
Yes.
So we found it out. Now we can make a change, yes. And it has nothing to do me knowing about like particularly how many employees they have or.
Yes. So it's practically you being observant and working on what I call the building blocks level. Not the construction, but the blocks from which the construction is built, and maybe even material from which the blocks are made.
Yes. Now that depends, like how long time do I work with one person or one company. Yes. Yeah. Because if I would know that I will work short time with this person, I would just go, okay, this is the decision making process, let's see what else. Yes. If I work longer, then it's okay, but there is a reason that you particularly are not come up with the idea yourself that, well, we need decision making process.
Yes.
It's not like you don't know it intellectually. Somehow you have wanted to kind of postpone it or not to see it.
Yeah.
Yes. And then we can go like to other places. Yes. Like what are particularly about this person that did not allow him to see this challenge, and how to make it show that he could in the future, because similar things can come up. Yes. So for example, why I would not want to have clear decision making process, because it raises the probability to disappoint someone. Well, and if I'm very sensitive for disappointing others, then why would I want to raise the probability of me disappointing someone? I would want to make it as small as possible.
This is very good example that you just illustrated how things moving slow in company, and maybe before that we are not reaching our strategic goals or comes to maybes, then decisions, then not wanting to disappoint, and I assume it continues. But we can see how it goes on very personal side, the person, and then it's really about the person eventually.
Yes, and also in the end it's about every life area. It's not never only in business, or like it's in the end it's how I think about myself. Like what is my inner monologue, how I'm communicating about myself, what I believe to be true, what I believe to be false, like all those things. Yes. And all those things in the end they lead to be feeling less free in life.
Yes.
Because this is one goal, or wherever my mentees want to have a goal, like good, like they ask from me, okay, what could be the goal of our work? Yes, then I have like, if you want me to put goal, I can put only one, and this is to raise your personal sense of freedom. How you perceive how free you are in life.
This is something unmeasurable, of course, but this is maybe the counter question to it is to what extent you can impact the things in your life, or it's about some different freedom you are talking about.
It's the sense of freedom. That's the most important part of it. How feel I free personally in my life?
Yeah.
Like it's not about how free I actually are, or like I can go every day to work from 9 to 5 and feel very free in my life.
Yeah.
And feel very much kinda in a prison. Even from a side, the life could look exactly the same.
But isn't it about that? In one case it's my choice, in another case I have to do it. But now the trick is that I might think that it is my choice, while actually on some deeper level it's not my choice, it's my fear or something else that is making me to do it this way and persuade myself that it is my choice.
I think it can be tricked only for a while.
Yeah.
Kind of to think it's
But
my
sometimes
choice.
this while can be years.
I doubt. Meaning usually it's just I'm kind of, at least how I see it, it's just like, no, I don't feel free, but I don't even desire to be. Like I have to do this and then I can do this, and this is how my life is. But that's it's why I like to work with entrepreneurs and athletes. Usually they don't have this challenge that they don't want to be more free.
Wait, I've met entrepreneurs in such situation that, hey, I work 50, 60 hour work weeks. Last vacation was 3 years ago. But what you gonna do? This is reality. I have a lot of stuff to do. Company is growing or company is struggling. In both cases, I don't have time, free time. But then you ask, okay, but are you free? Yes, this is my choice to do things this way. So the question now is there freedom or not in such situation?
No, I would ask like, okay, what's the problem? Meaning if the person feels free in this, then go for it.
Yeah. So like, meaning you are not trying to give some how it in theory should be, but if it works for you, then it works for you, even if in theory you see that maybe he's going to near a cliff where then there's the abyss.
Yes, and sometimes when I feel like that, I can just show that how I see is that most probably it could lead to there.
Yeah.
And explain why I think so, that it will lead to there.
Yeah.
And the person says either I don't believe or maybe, but I want to go. Then you can continue like that. Meaning, one thing that whoever is in a field of supporting others as a work, what I think is the most important is not to try to take away the full agency about his own life, about his own body, like
not to save him out from himself.
Yes, like always saying that you have full agency, like this is the machine you have. You have only one machine currently you can operate. This is the machine, I have my machine. Yes, this we have full authority. We can do whatever we want with this, and you also can do. And now we have come here to help each other to navigate this machine better. Yes, but the decisions always are ourselves. Yes, and this is the kind of fundamental thing that we can show, we can analyze, but always there is something that the person feels, okay, here, like I don't feel free. Like there are always elements, and I don't need more than one small element where we can start discussing. Okay, in these situations, I feel like I have one choice. Like, and these usually grow bigger, and the view of oneself and the life changes, and then some other elements start to come. And even if I thought that okay, there I have freedom, then I see, well, okay, half of this actually is like I just did not want to admit myself. Often it's about money, people having already money to do X, Y, Z that they would first time tell me they would like to do. What are the most popular? 2 months per year living abroad. Well, I say, okay, let's do it. No, I cannot. I can prove you can. Like theoretically, I can put right now on paper with your resources how you can do it.
Yes, but okay, but I cannot, and then what?
Yes, and but then we can already start to talk about, okay, what is actually constraining you. Yeah. Because it's not the things you are telling me that you don't have enough money. I will ask straightforward, okay, how much do you earn?
Yeah.
How much do you spend per month? What do you need to spend? Like, I will make it so that logic would say that, well, logically don't have arguments anymore.
So, but does it mean then you are, if I can say so, an inconvenient mentor?
Well, this question assumes that I know what is the convenient mentor.
No, convenient mentor would be that who's like, so you can't? Okay, fine.
Yes. I'm...
Meaning, what I got from you, at least in this example, that you are helping the person to get into the corner.
I'm especially in the beginning using a lot of logic, because this is something that the people have used to work with. Yes, logic is a good thing. I'm a logical person, and doing logical things are good. Most of the people I meet, they think like that, and I am like, very good. Let's use your logic. Yes, and this in the end, when it leads to corner, that okay, logically everything makes sense, but I still cannot do it. And this is the first collapse. Yes, there has to be something more, because I'm out of options. Like we covered, we had solutions for everything. Yeah. Yes, but still I feel I cannot do it, and now we can start working. So in that sense, yes, but I really like logic as a starting stone.
But maybe this is the last thread that I would like to go into, because logic, but I know that also when we have a client who are experiencing a conflict, then usually you are one of the top 3 mentors who come to my mind that when to connect. I like working with conflict. I know you are very good at it. And can you solve conflicts with logic, or there's some other magic or something happening? How do you help founders solve conflicts?
Conflicts are one of my favorite topics. Again, most probably because it does not have a blueprint. Yes, because so I don't have the fear of not delivering the material.
Yes, because if you don't solve it, it's your...
Well, no, but it's conflict are in a sense they're all the same, and in the same time they're very different. So it's always a creative process. But what I'm telling, what is always the same is the conflict is never about the thing that the client says it is about. Yeah. This I can take poison on. Like, I don't have an experience when I would get a description of conflict from the client that would be the thing that we are solving in the end. Yes. There I'm the first thing I'm starting to do is going back and even a bit kind of igniting the conflict in a sense that people would get emotional and start to find all kind of old stuff that they could bring out. You know, when I don't know, husband and wife really go to argue, then it's like, but 5 years ago you did not bring me that thing that you promised.
Yes.
Like
yes.
these things start to come
Okay.
up, and I want
Yeah.
to get all those things out.
Uh-huh.
Like,
But like I could also then ask you, doesn't it make things worse? I
yeah.
understand that it doesn't, but it can feel like.
At first it does in this moment.
Yes.
But we will kind of calm it down in the end.
But what does it give to bring this past up?
So when it is ignited, then we can get all the puzzle pieces on the table. Like what is this conflict made of? What are the situations? What are the experiences? Like we can put it on a table.
Yeah.
And while they are arguing, I'm collecting. Yes.
Okay.
And igniting and directing to get all out, and then we can put it on table. You see, like this is most probably in this pile we have something that caused it. In this pile we have the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can invite people to focus on the cause. Like, could we put aside right now this big pile with the assumption that if we get this one sorted out, it will just go out. Yes. And because what are the two main things in conflict that are hard to get is to get all sides motivated to solve it. And with this, by showing them something new and allowing them to bring out things, usually the motivation grows.
Yes, usually there's one person in the beginning who wants to.
Yes. So the thing is how to get kind of everyone motivated is important, and then kind of showing the potential good outcome, or like it also feeds into the desire, but like what we could win. Yes. And by putting out some win, I actually use it because I can put some random win which I think out, okay, if we can all this solve, then this is what happened. And then usually people correct me, no, but for me this will happen, or but I need to get their actual desires, like what is desirable for them to solve it. Yes. And now if I have the desires, like the baseline desires, so actually I just want feel respected or whatever is the desire, and I have the motivation, well, now it's very good ground to work with conflict. Yes. Because now we have so many elements, we have everyone personal elements, common element, it becomes like worthwhile thing to put effort in.
Yes.
And before it was like worthwhile to put effort in because I don't want to lose.
Sometimes it is relatively easy to help solve conflict. You come in and you just help people to notice, as you said, like start and end, yes, where it started, where you want to get, and then help them to talk between themselves, and then it gets resolved. Sometimes it can be much harder, and maybe there's also a point of no return. Like it has been so already damaged that the best thing you can do is just help to go separate ways in most graceful way possible.
Yes, and usually there I'm quite kind of trusting my feeling and being very open about it with the potential client right away. With last one I said, by gut feeling I think it 80% that you will need to split up.
Yeah.
And 20% that we will manage to kind of make the thing work. And to find it out I need half a year. Like this is what there is.
Yeah.
Yes. But even if you split up, then this is also a half a year process. So I can support this also because it brings a lot of difference how the split up happens.
I think most people understand it that good split up is so much better than a bad split up because you save so much time and energy, especially energy. I know some people who have had bad split ups and then for a year later they are waging either inner or also external war with this past co-founder, and this damages the company, really damages. So Even good split up is a good thing.
Yeah, whoever has been in the business long enough, I think can kind of recognize it.
Yeah.
Like what's the difference? Because again, will we kind of at least on a face value solve the problems during the split up, or we put something aside and we don't touch it, but then it will be there with us for a long time, and we hold grudge to each other and all kind of things. Yes. I just remember that I think around 4 years ago I did not believe into good split ups.
Okay.
Because I hadn't witnessed any.
Aha.
Yes.
But had you witnessed bad ones? Or just...
Well, I had witnessed like bad ones in like from personal relationships.
Yeah.
From like a basketball with coaches and teams.
Yeah.
So I had only experiences from bad ones. That splitting up means almost destruction to everyone and a lot of like thrown out energy.
Yeah.
So now I see it differently because now I have better experiences.
Okay. I want to conclude with one last mini topic. Somehow it strikes me that you are that person who uses trickster energy also in work and in life. Yes, I could imagine that in a mentoring session you suddenly standing up from chair and standing on your head and with this making some point. Can you share what is this? How this trickster energy? Why is it coming through you, and how is it impacting?
I think well, one thing I enjoy it, yes, and life is there to enjoy. But on the second thing, I'm like I can be calm, but in the sense I'm quite impatient. Like I like when things move.
Yeah.
Yes, and things move much faster when someone experiences something instead of only talking.
Yeah.
Yes, but now a lot of work I do is through online. Yes, so so it gives some restrictions, like how I can create an experience to someone so we can ignite the process. Yes, so that in right now I would need this person to experience something so that we could talk about it and he or she would recognize it. Yes, because otherwise it's like again like not admitting. Yes. So and then I'm before the sessions I do one certain meditation. I think I can share about it. It's such that I'm trying to connect with my higher self, which I believe is there, like personal higher self, and then asking my higher self to ask from another person higher self what does he need. Yes. So getting connection, getting some message. Okay, what does the person need?
Yeah.
With this current challenge. Yes.
It's superb ability for any mentor, teacher, coach, that you care more for the person than for what the person will think about you.
Yes, that is, I think, the only thing that makes it difficult. If this comes in between, yes, like what the person thinks about me.
Yeah.
But usually, well, I'm not very important person in this person's life.
Yeah.
What is there to think about? Meaning, this I definitely learned from school. There are 30 kids.
Yeah.
They have a lot of teachers. They have all their friends, girlfriends, family.
Yeah.
I'm like the least important person in their life.
I would argue about...
Meaning who they think about.
Yeah.
They don't think about mainly about me while they're living. They think about
That's
girls,
true.
like all kind of things. Yes.
Yeah.
So even if today I play some kind of trick, yes, or I'm bouncing back all the responsibility, for example, like taking zero responsibility for me, like you want something, well, I don't know, figure it out for one lesson, yes. And they get angry, like you get the salary that you need to do, like, well, I anyway get the salary. What do you think about it? I don't know. Yeah, but you will not find it out if you don't find it out. So you will be stupider, I will still be the same place.
Yeah.
Yes. Then, well, it changes something in this moment, and after 2 days it's not important for them, but they have this experience.
Yeah.
Something in this they do remember. So I don't think about myself as being very important person in other person's life, or like, because anyway they are the most important person in their life. That's for sure.
I think that's a good slogan. Hristo Neiland, not an important person in your life.
Yeah.
But actually making a lot of impact on people's businesses and life. I think we can conclude in this.
Yes.
Not important conclusion.
Yes, I think this is good.
Thank you.
Thank you for inviting.